All right, so here today we got a fun one. We have our first official, you heard me right, our first official gameplay now for the one and only Emma. This is going to be a character to either change the entire tide of the game or do nothing at all. Today we're going to find out. All right, listen, going into this video, I haven't read much yet. I obviously always wait to read with you guys. I have a tingling feeling this is going to be our first trio. I've said this already, previous videos, right? I truly hope that this isn't a precedent, that we're going to start here, but I'm not going to lie here. Probably gonna start. Over here we have the Emma thing, new Nikke demonstration and skill introduction. Emma tactical upgrade uses MG special therapy. Emma tactical upgrade is a supporter who supports her allies' survivability and enhances their attack capabilities. Depending on the formation, she further amplifies their attack power, prolonging the favorable situation for the allies. Over here, let's see the motion demonstration, and then we shall enjoy with the rest of the skill set here. Again, hoping that it's I still want them to be solid characters because it is technically a major update, but I also don't want them to be like too crazy where you're forced to pull, because at a time right now you've been just dented, beaten. So we don't want that too much, but kind of cool. I know that a lot of players will probably hate the shooting animation here, but it's cool. She looks like Roppy, bro. When I first saw this, like yesterday in the PV trailer or the day before in the PV trailer, she looks like Roppy from behind. Not that I'm looking from behind like that, but from behind looks like Roppy. Burst animation is still crazy, dude. Burst animation is wild. Yeah, that's a burst. Yeah. They had to make one of them look exactly like this so players could go down miserable for that, and that's Emma's job there, to make you go down miserable. Again, super cool looking. Absolute. That's the video. There you go. Let's get into the quirk skill set. Skill set. Let's do that. I keep saying quirk skill set because of a different game I cover. They're called quirk skill sets. This is called skill sets. Over here, Emma tactical upgrade absolute. Type is supporter. Machine gun. Burst skill 1. Code is fire. Ammo capacity is 300. Reload time is 2.5 seconds. Affects targets. Deals 5.57% attack damage. Deals 200% damage when attacking core. Skill 1. Environment setup. Activates at the start of the battle. Affects self. Environment setup. Function. Sprays a solution into the surroundings to create an advantageous battlefield. Effect 1. Damage taken goes up by 3.9% for 10 seconds. Effect 2. Targets all enemies, including those that appear during environment setup. Effect 2. Environment setup continuously recovers 2.3% of caster's final max HP every 1 second for 10 seconds. Effect 2 targets all allies. The recurring interval is 30 seconds. Activates when the enemy appears. Affects self. Exposure undispellable. Effect attract taunt. It's all enemies continuously. So basically, damage taken goes up. She has a taunt. And she heals all allies. So heals all allies. Taunt. 3.9% damage taken. Okay. There you go. That's that. That's skill 1 broken down simply. Okay. Now skill 2. LT formation. Activates only if self is alive. LT formation. Yeah. Function. It issues a battle advantageous tactic to targets. Affects all allies from the same squad. Damn. Yeah. Obviously. So, same squad. So it's a trio. That's what it is. Critical damage goes up by 23.51% continuously. Affects all allies. Projectile explosion damage up 2.32% continuously. Bonus effect when applying AS formation to self. Effect 1. Affects all allies. True damage goes up by 30. So pretty much in LT. So LT formation and AS formation. LT formation issues a battle advantage that affects all allies from the same squad. Critical damage goes up by 23.51%. Affects all allies. Projectile explosion damage up by 2.32%. Projectile explosion damage, right, for Vesti. Yeah, so they're giving Vesti so you're giving 23.51%, and then you're giving Vesti the 2.32% continuously. Affects all allies. True damage goes up by 30.97%. And so this is true damage now separate. Affects all allies. Projectile explosion goes up by 3% continuously. Affects self. Exposure activation disabled continuously. Affects self. Recurring interval of environment setup drops by 20 seconds continuously. So every 30 seconds with a cooldown of 20 seconds, so 10 seconds, 30 seconds, right? That's what you get as a buff. Okay. Affects all allies. Battlefield formation. Attack goes up by 40% of the cash's attack for 10 seconds. Affects self. If self is in environment setup status, enhances environment setup. Function enhances environment setup. Duration is 10 seconds. Damage taken multiplier of environment setup is scaled by 100%. By 100%. Wow. Okay. And then duration is 10 seconds. Damage taken multiplier again, that's 100%. And then target all enemies. Potency of HP restored is now 29%. And then effect to it targets all allies. Okay. So pretty much, what is she? So she, in order to get max damage with Yunwa, in order to get max damage with Vesti, you have to run. Yeah, so to do this correctly, so what are you getting here? Environment, so affects this. Environment setup. So pretty much how they've designed this is, if I'm reading this correctly, right? It's, so first off, she's a B1 with no CDR. Be aware of that, right? Until B2 comes out and Yunwa has CDR. That's the thing. Or B3 has CDR. Yeah, the big pop off there. But pretty much, so she gives, right? If only self is alive, LT formation. Bonus effects when applying AS formation to self. So she gives like 3.9. So in her skill 1, 3.9% damage taken. She heals allies and she taunts. Now here, for Yunwa and Vesti, she's giving them pretty much 24-ish% crit damage. She's giving the projectile explosion like of, is it not 5%, right? 3% and then 2%, like 5% explosion damage. And then that true damage, that's 31%, right? And then on top of that, she gives 40% battlefield formation of Cash's attack that affects all allies. So she gives that, and then she gives the enemies scaled 100%, right? The damage taken effects and everything associated. And then she heals even more, keeping the team topped up. Right or no? Yes? Am I high here? Yeah. And then doesn't she give extra true damage buff or no? Yeah, so she gives true damage and crit damage again. Huh. That's what this is designed as. So there you go. That's the explanation done. They've designed a trio unit. This is your support over the trio unit. Now, what do you lose not having her? You lose all that I just listed. You lose all that crit. You lose all that true damage. You lose all that extra explosion damage for Vesti. You also lose the heals, and you also lose the damage taken debuff to them. You lose all that if you don't have her. And you also lose a taunt, but that's taunt. So that's what you lose if you don't have Emma attached to your team. Yeah. Dude, I'm not going to say to pull all three of them, but maybe now at this point, if you anyways need to build pity for Annie, maybe pull one of them. But again, I don't want to say that because who knows what September has to offer. So I'd still say wait till the last day. These are active until September 4th. You have plenty of time. And by that point, like 3 weeks into this update, you'll know what happens. So if you want them, you want them. But it's going to be probably a pain to try to get all three of them if you don't, right? If you need all three of them. So that's the only issue. But again, I don't really see that as an issue. They're standard characters. If they're good for bossing, they're good for bossing. I doubt that they're going to be like a campaign clearing team. If that happens, dude, GG's, boys. Our triple banner. Our new trio. But yeah, this is our first ever trio. As of now, it seems like that. Don't get bad at shift up. As of now, it clearly seems like that, right? She buffs up Vesti and Yunwa. Honestly speaking, I think this is going to be a trio. It makes no sense not to be a trio. But again, we'll wait and see. right? I'm guessing when Yunwa drops, Yunwa will be obviously taking those buffs and being able to do more. And then if you don't have Emma, can you still clear? Like, who do you replace Emma with? Is she enough that you don't need her? That's the wholesale thing you have to see. So don't get mad just yet, but seems that they are a trio. Seems that way as of now. Okay? Okay. Let me know what you think.